Hello and welcome to this Year 8 lesson looking at numbers between 0 and 1. Your do now task is to copy and complete the following, write them into your exercise books. You can put the new title, numbers between 0 and 1, write them down and then put your answers, pause the video while you do them, and then in a few seconds or a few moments you can get the answers on the next slide. Okay, so here's your do now answers. Check them carefully and hopefully you got them all correct. Okay, you might need to know, or might not know, that the world's thickest book is the Complete Miss Marple book. It has 4,032 pages and is 32 centimetres thick. You might know the name Agatha Christie. You might have seen some of her shows on the television or books in the library. So, the question is, how thick is one page of paper? And we will return to this later on in this lesson. Okay, so our learning for this lesson, to know how to write a large number in standard form, is our bronze learning. Our silver learning is to understand how to write a small number in standard form. And our gold learning is to be able to change from any number into standard form or ordinary form and vice versa. So let's see where we go. We know that we can write large numbers in standard form, such as 72,000 is 7.2 times 10 to the power of 4. We know that, we've done that in our prior learning. We also know that negative powers of 10 become decimals between 0 and 1. Again, we've done that in our previous lessons. So, we can combine those two skills to help us write numbers between 0 and 1 in standard form. So let's see how it works. Copy these three examples into your book. So write 0.002 in standard form. We know that 0.002 is 2 times 0.001, but we also know 0.001 is 10 to the power of minus 3. So 0.002, correctly written in standard form, is 2 times 10 to the power of minus 3. Make sure you write that down in your book. Okay. Another example, 0.00008 is the same as 8 times 10 to the power times 0.00001, but 0.00001 is 10 to the power of minus 5. So 0.00008, correctly written in standard form, is 8 times 10 to the power of minus 5. Again, make sure you write that down carefully into your book. Here's a third one. 0.07, that's the same as 7 times 10 to the power of minus 2. Just check you understand us as go through it. Okay, so here are some 5 questions for you to have a go at. Make sure you write the numbers down in your book, then change them into standard form. Pause the video while you do that. Okay, here are your 5 answers to the 5 questions you did. I hope you got them all correct. If you did, well done. Okay, now when we're doing standard form, remember, it's been big letters at the top there. Remember the first part must always be between 1 and 10. So if we're challenged to write 0.062 in standard form, we can't go putting 62 times something. Instead, we know 0.062 is 6.2 times 0.001. But 0.001 is 10 to the power of minus 3. So 0.062, correctly written in standard form, is equal to 6.2 times 10 to the power of minus 3. Second example, again copy it into your book. 0.0057 we can rewrite as 5.7 times 0.0001. Remember, the first part has to be between 1 and 10. 0.0001 is 10 to the power of minus 4. So 0.0057, correctly written in standard form, is 5.7 times 10 to the power of minus 4. Here's a third example, 0.000987. We make our number between 1 and 10, 9.87. And we know that 0.0001 10 to the power of minus 4. Don't like that. That should be 9.87 times 0.00. Oh, that's right, actually. Yeah, I was getting myself all muddled up. Sorry about that. So 0.0000987, correctly written in standard form, is 9.87 times 10 to the minus 4. Next slide. Here's some for you to copy and complete. Write them carefully into your books, and then when you've paused the video and done them, click and you'll get your answers. Okay, so here are your answers. Hope you got them all correct. Okay, so now we've got some things for you to write down in your book. What's the same and what's different in these numbers? 3 times 10 to the power of minus 4 and 3 times 10 to the power of 4. 30 seconds and then click to the next slide. Okay, so what's the same? They've both got a multiplier of 3. They've both got the same base number of 10. If you look on the left hand side, our key terms, the base number is the number that's raised to a certain power. But they have different indices or powers of minus 4 and 4. Indices, of course, is the plural of the word index, if you look at the key terms on the left. And they're of different size. So the first number is 0.0003 and the second one is 30,000. Okay, have a go at this one on your own. Pause the video, and then when you're ready, move forward. Okay, so 4 times 10 to the power of minus 3 is greater than 5 times 10 to the power of minus 4. I've decided to change them both to ordinary form, so that's 0.004 and 0.0005, and I can clearly see 0.004 is greater than 0.0005. So 4 times 10 to the power of minus 3 is greater than 5 times 10 to the power of minus 4. Answer this question. Are negative powers of 10 always, sometimes, or never negative numbers? Pause the video, have a go, write something down, and then see what I've come up with. Actually, negative powers of 10 are always positive unless there's a negative or minus in front of the 10, such as minus 10 times 10 to the power of minus 3, which would have become minus 0.001. Quite a tricky one, that one. Okay, which of these four numbers, it's actually 5, are written in standard form? Write them down and see if you can decide whether they're correctly written in standard form or not. Pause the video while you do that. Okay, if we look at the answers, the first two are written in standard form. There's a number between 1 and 10 at the front and a power of 10. C is not in standard form because the first one is not between 1 and 9.999 or 1 and 10. D, also the first part is wrong because it's not written between 1 and 10 or 1 and 9.99. And the last one, you can't have 10. You have to write it as 1 times 10 to the power of minus 4. Okay, so now you may have a copy of this, printed out a copy of this worksheet. If you have, you can write on it. If you haven't, then obviously you've got to write it all out. Here's question 1. Pause the video while you work through it. Here's questions 2 and 3. Pause the video while you work through those. Here are your answers to question 1. Please mark them really carefully so you don't just assume you're correct when you might not actually be. Pause the video while you mark them. Here are your answers to questions 2 and 3. Again, pause the video and mark things carefully. Here's question 4. If you've got the sheet, write on it. If not, write them into your book. Don't just put the answers, put the expression on the left-hand side too. Here's questions 5 and 6. Pause the video again while you write them down if you don't have the worksheet. Here are your answers to question 4. Please mark them carefully. Pause the video while you do that, especially with the number of noughts. And here are your answers to question 5 and 6. Be really careful when you're marking these, because it's very tempting to get them wrong. I'm sure I might have done if I'd been doing them. Okay, well done. So we're now on to some questions where you have to write down the question in your book and say whether you think it's correct, and then you click for your answer. So here's the first one. Write the sentence down and then say false or true or false, is it correct, yes or no, and then put a reason with it. This is actually false, because although 5 is less than 7, if you look at the relative size of the numbers, the first number is 0.0005 and the second is 0.00007, and so therefore 5 times 10 to the power minus 4 is actually greater than 7 times 10 to the power minus 6. Is this one correct? Write it down before you click for, oh, I've got the answer at the same time, sorry. Is 2.3 times 10 to the power minus 4 greater than that? No, it's not. It's false, because they're actually equal. Okay, so here we've got two people trying to make a comment about the right size and converting into standard form. Look at their answers and write down who's correct. Perhaps you're better than me, you can remember the names of these two characters. I certainly can't. When you've written something down, click to get the answer. Okay, the person on the right, as we're looking, is correct. As to make a standard form number correctly, we need to use all the digits. So 0.0302 will become 3.2 times 10 to the power minus 2. Okay, so here you've got questions 7 and 8, and again, as before, if you've got the worksheet, write on it. If you haven't, carefully write things down in your book. Pause the video to do that. And here's question 9. Be really careful where you work through this one. And here is question 10. So think about Mo's reasoning to write these numbers in standard form. You may need to alter them and change them and move them around, and start thinking very carefully. This is your gold learning, I think, sophisticated learning. Okay, so here's your answers to questions 7 and 8. Pause the video while you mark them, and be ever so careful with marking with the zeros. Be ever so careful, please. And here are your answers to 9 and 10. You may not have put exactly the same for the reasoning for Jack, but number 9, but I'm sure you'll be fine. That's number 9. And here's your answers for question 10. Okay, so returning to our story earlier, the world's thickest book is The Complete Miss Marple, with 4,032 pages, which is 32 centimetres thick from cover to cover. The thickness of one page, well, we take our total thickness, 32 centimetres, and divide it by 4,032. That gives us 0.00794 centimetres, or 7.94 times 10 to the power minus 3 centimetres. If you were putting it in millimetres, I think it would be 7.94 times 10 to the power minus 2 millimetres. Very thin. Okay, who would use it in real life? Lots of scientists looking at microorganisms and atomic parts, protons, electrons. Scientists would also use standard form when considering very large numbers, such as the distance of the Earth to the Sun. Okay, so on here we're going to check our success criteria. Write the questions down in the bronze, silver and gold, pause the video, write them into your book, and then when you've done them, click and the answers will be revealed to assess your learning. Okay, so here are our 3 answers, which check our bronze, silver and gold learning from today. Well done if you got them all correct. There's just one thing left to say, which is don't forget to complete the relevant Hegarty maths tasks that your teachers will have set for you. But well done for today, and that concludes our lesson.